stop and take a little time out with me. Just take 5.
Right into the hands.
Give it to me.
Very bad.
Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Very bad.
Bring the beat.
I heard someone was ducking. Let's get to the bottom of it. Don't be shy now.
On me, you were ducking. All of y'all were ducking.
Be shy now. Like,
All y'all boys were ducking, man. Y'all were afraid. The football season began. Folks started running away from the screen.
Not even a good old fashioned hi, how are you? We're just gonna get straight into it.
Straight to it,
this
man.
gets crazy. Like, I don't know, Anywho, that's A5 Pod, man. You know exactly what we do here. Right. It's been a little bit of a while. I mean, we had to be on a quick hiatus there. I can't get these dudes on the pod, man. I can't get these dudes on the pod. I've been asking multiple weeks.
Not me.
Popular belief. I've been asking for weeks. See what I'm saying? Joey over there, coaching the volleyball, doing whatever he does. You know what I'm saying? Now Julian, man, be turning up, you know what I mean? On another notch and everything.
Okay.
And I don't even know what he be on, to be honest with you. I couldn't tell you.
He has like 7 jobs. He has like 7 jobs or something like that.
I got 7 jobs like Uncle Ruckus. What can we do about that? You know what I mean? So we'll see if he comes in, whatever. I get a text message today talking about Sultans joining a men's league for basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like those hoop dreams, Joey. Hey, this year, we talking years ago. Like those were clipped many moons ago. Many ACLs, many knee sprains, what have you. I thought
Y'all know I got it. Talk to Ian.
I
He can tell you.
Ian should never set foot on a basketball court. He knows that, but I give him props for trying though. Jacob Workman. Now Jacob Workman's the funny one, the funniest of them all. Now, Joey, many moons ago, he told us that we're gonna have to start doing the pod, during the week. You see what I'm saying? This was during basketball season. We had TNT Tuesday, and we had NBA on TNT. Right, so you know where I was at 7:30 sharp every single night. I was watching that matchup. I was watching Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Chuck, and Shaq on my TV screen. But to accommodate, I say, you know what? Okay, let's just do the pod on 7:30 on Tuesday. We'll get on here because Jacob has his work schedule. We got to work around that, right? So I was the bigger man. Where he at, though? Is my question. I ain't seen him in weeks. Now,
Months.
again, we do what we got to do here. Miles, we don't know he on it neither, but it's Tape 5 Pod, though, man. We still got to get it in. Still definitely got to get it in. So, got a little jam-packed show. We'll see what it takes or like. It could take longer than normal, but we'll see what it is, right? So let's just get a few things out the way because it is, in fact, football season. We just kicked off. It's week 1. You know what I'm saying? It's a different air, a different aura when you walk out of the building on a Sunday night. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a different aura on a Monday night, even on a Thursday. So it's just like we're here. We're ready to talk about this ball. So what I didn't do, though, I will apologize beforehand. I should have got some college ball in here. College slate was very, very fun to watch. I was there 12-12. You see what I'm saying? They had Trae Young on game day. Some very good games there. Some very good games. What was your favorite game, Joe?
Last week, probably personally, my favorite game was the best game was Oklahoma and Michigan, but my favorite game was Florida versus USF. Getting to watch Florida lose at home with all the expectations that they had. Billy Napier kind of on his high horse, DJ Lagway, Heisman, one of the Heisman favorites, generational talent, all these things being thrown around. Best team in Florida, a lot of things have been thrown around that I've just been confused about. But to watch them lose to Southern Florida or to South Florida at home was special. I'm not gonna lie. I was late.
Joey, I don't know if you tuned into that game, but that was in fact special. Like that was in fact special. I definitely saw something there. And, you just love a good upset because Julian is 100% right for once. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of expectations going into the season. I'm here in Tampa, Florida. We still do have Gator fans around, that were very hyped up for this game. And then they left home and they left packing.
Very sad.
It was sad to see. It was sad to see. Shout out USF, though. They got some dogs over there. They really do. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay. All right. I've been waiting a long time for this one, Joey. I've been waiting a long time for this one. I said we just gonna get some NBA out the way, right? Because it's football season. We just got a few things to get out the way, right? Before we get into it. Now, my job on this podcast is to provide context to the situation. So let me allow me to elaborate the sequence of events that has transpired to get us to this point. Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer are currently under investigation by the National Basketball Association due to the fact it was found that Kawhi Leonard was getting almost $500 million from a group called Aspire. Is that correct? It's Aspire, correct?
I think so.
It is, but Steve Ballmer invested $50 million into it. Kawhi was supposed to get like $28 million.
And it's the Aspire group, right?
Yes.
Okay. The Aspire group. The reason I had to double take is because we've never heard of that group before. All right. Now, again, context. Joey, I appreciate you for adding that in. Right. So the Aspire group somewhat tied to Steve Ballmer, even though he really seems to not know what goes around in that LLC that they have going. But the fact of the matter is that Kawhi Leonard was due for many millions of dollars. Many millions of dollars. Okay. Now, it was found out, and I told you there's an investigation, but why exactly? The league is trying to determine whether the money that Kawhi Leonard is set to receive from a fraudulent company, right, was to circumvent the salary cap that we have in place in the league. Now, it's one thing to get under the table money, right? But if it's to get a bigger contract than what's able in the league, you could do jail time. That's a criminal offense when it comes to the association, right? So now that we all know what happened here, right? Firstly, I want to ask, do you believe there are guilty parties with Kawhi, Steve Ballmer, the Clippers organization as a whole? Is there somebody that needs to be fined, suspended, right? Does something have to go down here? Or do we believe this is all just a misunderstanding? I'd love to hear from Julian.
Bro, it's probably a misunderstanding, honestly. Like, Kawhi Leonard, yes, people say that he's a little bit of a diva. I wouldn't say so. I think, he comes in, handles his business. He does go about things in a very specific way. But, he's not one to cause so many problems. I'll say outside of the Spurs little moment, he's been pretty even keeled, and that was having to do with his body. So I understand why he caused problems there. But from what I saw from Mark Cuban, who came to the defense of Steve Ballmer, it seemed like he's basically saying he thinks Steve Ballmer's too smart of a guy to even do something like this. And I agree. There's so many ways to get Kawhi money outside of doing something like this. So I don't understand why they would do it. Honestly, I have no clue why they would try to do something like this. He could just sign a legitimate brand deal to get that money. So I think it's probably some type of misunderstanding. And also, Pablo Torre, let's be honest. Is he super credible? Is he a credible source?
Well, if you're asking the question, is credible enough to launch a league-wide investigation?
It should be investigated.
It had to be investigated. So
It should
whatever he said, got to the right places. But with that being said, Joey, what about you? Is this all just a misunderstanding?
I think on some level it can be, but I think on others, you really have to think about back to when Kawhi joined the Clippers in the first place. It's been reported that in these free agency offers, he's looking for endorsements, man. He's trying, like, that's the whole point of him trying to go out to the city of Los Angeles to build his brand. He's at the top of the league right now, like at that point, considered by many to be the best player in the league. Just won a finals for his first year on a team. He won finals MVP. Like he wants to get his bread. He wants to build his brand. And I think it's kind of tough to kind of fault him for that. But I think, he asked Jeannie Buss, hey, could you give me some endorsement money? No. Okay. Goes to the Raptors owner. Can you get me some endorsement money? No. Okay. See ya. I'm going to go to the Clippers, where Steve Ballmer, whether he, maybe he was defrauded of that $50 million and he'll never get back. Or if he willingly put forth that $50 million into that business and said, hey, like, you can sign a, $28 million contract, $25 million contract, knowing full well, hey, like, not more so like we can, go under the salary cap, but like you have the ability to get the best, like get someone who is widely considered to be the best player in the league at that time. Like you gotta do anything you can at that point to do it. And, unfortunately it turned to a criminal offense, especially if, he is involved in that fraudulent scheme. And unfortunately, he's, not get, like, Kawhi Leonard's not going to get that money, unfortunately, which, is sucks. But I think I don't know if Kawhi is totally at fault. I think Steve Ballmer definitely shares a lot more of a piece of any sort of blame pie that is made. But I think for the most part, like, we're not totally sure. But if anyone is more to blame, it's Steve Ballmer. Honestly,
Julian, greed is a sin that you don't want to find yourself around or near. That's what I see when I look at Kawhi Leonard. Let me explain. Now, Joey highlighted the facts perfectly. It's always about how can I get the extra dollar, right? That's always what it's been about with Kawhi and his agent. These are things that have been reported at every destination. How can I get more bread without putting in the work? Right? We built up the brand. No, listen to me. San Diego, we built up the brand. Okay? Kawhi Leonard rolls. I don't know about best in world. I've never heard that from anyone. But he rose to being one of the best two-way players in the National Basketball Association. From there, he just wanted to coast. Now, Julian, I'll ask you a question. Off the top of your head, how many Kawhi Leonard commercials Can you describe
A few.
a few? What's a few be? Like 2, 3?
Yeah, around there, probably.
How long you been in the league?
A
You
long
know?
time.
Long time.
Actually, no, I probably can think of about 5 or 6 now that I think of it. Because there was a few new ones this year.
This year.
Yeah, for sure. Or like last year, I should say, like 2024.
Hey Siri. How long has Kawhi Leonard been in the NBA? Since 2011. I don't know if that's factual. 2011. Oh no, that's about right. That should be about right. What's that? 15 years? About 15 years.
Around there.
Can name 6 commercials. Now they get mad at Stephen A. lot when he talk about Kawhi Leonard because he talks about the fact that he does nothing to endorse his brand, his team's brand, or the brand of the NBA. These things are all true. These things are all true. But what's also true is that he's never failed to ask for that extra dollar. All right. Now, Joey started playing the blame game. Do we point at Steve Ballmer? Do we point at Kawhi? I think we can all agree that it can go in multiple different directions, but who's the biggest culprit here? Right? Unfortunately, I will have to agree with Joey though. Steve Ballmer. You're tied with some random company that's paying one of your players, your best player, almost $500 million, and you got on Sports Center to say that you didn't know about it. You got conned.
He knew about the deal.
What didn't he know about?
He said he didn't know that it was a fraudulent company.
He didn't know it was a fraudulent company. How is that possible, Julian? If he knows that this company is giving his star 50 beans,
He's basically saying that they
due diligence with that company.
I don't know. I mean, he's basically saying they lied, essentially. He's saying they broke contract, basically.
They lied.
Yeah. That's his. I mean, that's what he's saying.
As I think you mentioned Marcus Cuban, he's way too smart of a guy to let something like this occur. And especially on a public, in a public way. It's really, really bad. And this is just another line of Clippers owners that are involved with scandal that we have to see on the public stage. But Kawhi Leonard, though, come on, man. Come on, man. Julian, 50 beans for doing absolutely nothing. He's never mentioned the Aspire Group in his life. You don't even know what that is.
My only thing is, who cares? Like, why do we even care?
Who cares? $50 million. There are
I'm saying,
people
why
in
is
the
it a story?
league that don't get 50 beans.
I don't understand because why? I don't understand why this is even a story for you. Like,
The
Kawhi
president
Leonard
of the
getting
United
rid-
States does not get 50 beans.
the president of the United States plays more golf than anything. So let's get off that topic.
Bro.
Anyways, though, Kawhi Leonard literally is one of the best players in the league, right?
Used to be, for sure.
Not used to be. He still is to this day one of the best players in the league. Of
For
course,
sure.
he's gonna get paid. Why do we care?
Dude, it's the way you get paid. You can get paid like everybody else. You get the contract deal. You can do the shoe deal. You can go out there with New Balance, put out a bunch of commercials. You go, you do pop-ups. You go to China like Bron does. You know what I mean? Get the fun rate. You can do all of that. That's not what he's doing though. He's getting paid by a tree company and has never planted a tree in his life. Not even on Minecraft, Joey. He's never planted a tree. That's egregious. That's bad.
Look,
It's a bad
anytime you tie someone who's at the level of Kawhi Leonard in terms of popularity, anytime you tie their name to something, the popularity of that thing automatically skyrockets. Putting Kawhi's name, if you just attach Kawhi's name to Aspire company, they are skyrocketing. Like it gives them so much popularity. Come on now. He doesn't have to do a thing.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna quote Love Island really fast because I know we're all fans of this show. We're not mad that you're hooping, but we're mad at the way that you're hooping.
Facts.
That is what Steve Ballmer did. I feel like, to Morgan's credit, I think Steve Ballmer is too smart of a businessman, and I think he makes too much money to just be throwing 50 million big ones into something you may not be sure how far it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Like
you gotta be better, man. Like you gotta be better, especially when you're dealing with the NBA. You gotta be better.
No, I agree with that. I just am saying I don't understand why they would do this, and knowing that he could get that money easily by doing, like you say, it's a no-show. He could do a one-time show, right? He could show up to something one time and still get a lot of money.
That's not who he is, unfortunately.
Bro,
I like
Kawhi Leonard makes appearances. It's not like he doesn't show up.
Appearances.
Yes, Kawhi Leonard makes appearances.
Where you seen him at?
Recently, I've seen him talking. He's been like outside
talking.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, he showed up to the tennis game.
I mean, I think he was on someone's podcast, if I'm not mistaken, pretty recently. I'm pretty sure. I think that he was actually.
He wasn't on anybody's podcast
or interview, something like that. It was recent. Let me look.
Right, yeah, pull it up, right? Nah. Because again, he wants he's always going to ask for the extra dollars without putting the extra work in. Like that's just something that's come across over a decade of playing in the NBA. Like that's what we see from him.
Bro, that's almost every player, bro.
It's not almost every player, bro. Like I seen Trae Young. He was in Oklahoma doing game day. That's an appearance, like real spill. He was in Oklahoma for college game day. And then I flew to Atlanta myself. In Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I saw him the very next day supporting the home team of the Atlanta Falcons. That's different. That's not him. That's not this guy.
So no. Kawhi Leonard, you don't think he pops out to any events?
Bro, I didn't say that. We just saw him at the tennis game.
He's not going to
pop out to an event.
He's not going to do college.
He's not doing game day for San Diego.
Bro, why would he? Number one, San Diego's never going to get a game day. Number two, why would
Kawhi? He was in the tournament last year, I think.
Yeah, no, basketball, they're good. But he's not going to go to a San Diego State basketball tournament game day. Like, when are they?
That's the alumni? That's nuts.
They don't even, there's no such thing as a game day during the tournament, number one.
I mean, he could go on the broadcast.
Bro,
if he wanted to.
How many players do that? The only players who do that are like the ones who want to get into media, pretty much. Other than that, they be chilling. They don't go to do all that.
Trae Young has never said anything about wanting to go into media. That's just
doesn't Trae Young have a podcast?
He's the governor there.
Doesn't Trae Young have a podcast?
You're right about that. I'll give you that.
Hey, Trae's in media.
I'll give you that.
Come on now.
Let go.
Give it to me.
What did I say?
Get into it. I'm taking money, y'all. Brown apple. The good stuff. Pro bono.
Give it to me.
Yep. Let's get into it, man. So the Take 5 Fantasy League has officially begun. We're past week 1. We have our team set in stone and in place. And, we do have 3 on the podcast. So I'm going to pass it to these guys, talk about their fantasy team, what they were thinking about in the draft, because it couldn't have been much, right? See how confident they feel going throughout the season. You know what I mean? Talk about some of their players and their performances there. So let's get into it. So let's go ahead to Travis Hunter's divorce lawyer. Take it away.
You know, I struggled to find a nice little a nice name for my team, and then I remembered. I think Travis Hunter's got to get away from his current wife, who I think just recently just had a child. And I hate to say this, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm sorry. I've seen too many clips of this woman to not have an opinion about it. He's got to leave her. He's got to leave. I'm sorry. I hate to be that guy, but it's all fun and games. I promise. I promise I'm a more mature man than that. I struggled to find a name. I wanted to find something unique, and I think I delivered. I think I came.
No,
that's I delivered.
A name. I'm rocking with that name. I like that.
Yeah.
And you know, I think I built a nice little squad here. You know, I think Amon-Ra, Travis, you know, kind of disappointed. Joe Burrow also kind of disappointed. Who did not disappoint me? Keon Coleman, the Broncos defense, both of my running backs, 2 elite running backs.
Mm-hmm.
It's only week 1. I narrowly lost. And, you know, I'm sure we're going to get to the Bears in a little bit. I started Roma Dunes at my flex just for the record. And I had the second coming of Saddam Hussein, who was Cairo Santos as my kicker. Yeah, that really ticked me off. If Cairo Santos may have made that first field goal, I would have won. I'm just saying. But I'm not here to make excuses. We adapt, we overcome. Made a few movements. I think Keon Coleman is going to have a great year. He's going to have a breakout year this year with Josh Allen throwing to him. He's getting that start in my flex spot. I drafted him. I picked him up off waiver wires. How he's there, I have no idea. In my work league, they have no idea what they have just woken up. But we're talking about this league. It's just week 1. It only can go up from there. That's all I gotta say.
Let's give it up for Travis Hunter's divorce lawyer. Now let's pivot over to the hamstring boys. Right, hasn't been any good results from them in past years, but let's see what it is today.
I actually need to change my team name. You actually just reminded me. That's a team name from last year, as my whole team was hurt. Literally, I couldn't even field a lineup for certain weeks of the season.
Excuses this late into the game.
No. Don't worry about it. We're back up this year. But in terms of my team, I don't even remember. Honestly, I'm in so many leagues at this point. I know I lost, but I don't know. I'm saying I don't know. I'm talking about how I performed in week 1. I know I got blasted by somebody. It was Rohan. My team played pretty bad.
Typical.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. It's kind of unlucky. Dak Prescott, he had a really good football game, but he didn't perform in terms of fantasy. He didn't throw, I don't think, a single touchdown. Mm-hmm. So that really hurt to have him as my quarterback, even though he played his ass off. I mean, it was tough. And then Bijan played well, obviously. Travion Henderson did all right. I was expecting more, but I think he had 11 points. Lad McConkey, he had a great game. He had 13.4 points with 6 catches for 70 yards. Is a good game. I think he maybe narrowly missed the touchdown or maybe dropped it. I don't remember which. But catches that ball. He's having an explosive week, so I feel fine there. And then, question marks do roll in at Ted McMillan for sure. He's a rookie. He is the Panthers' number 1 option on that team, which does give me confidence. I think he's going to have a really good year.
That gives you confidence?
Yeah, you're the number 1 option. Fantasy football is a lot about targets, I think he's going to get the ball a lot, or at least get looked at a lot. Similarly to Trey McBride, he gets looked at first a lot. He's the first read so much in that offense. I think he's going to have a great year again. I think last year he was the the number one overall tight end. He scored. I don't even know if he scored a single touchdown. Maybe one all year. So, so I feel good there. Anyway, Cal Ridley kind of blew me last week because he should have had a dominant game, but he dropped the ball. I think he had like 3 drops, and that's just egregious. You can't have 3 drops versus the best defense in the league with your rookie quarterback making his first dart. That's a ridiculous effort. But I do have some confidence because my bench is really good. I have Tyler Warren off my bench, who I think is going to have a really good year. I have Jordan Mason off my bench, the Vikings running back. So even though Travion Henderson didn't play so well, I think one of them will play really well. So I'm fine there. And then, what'd you say?
Huh?
Excuse me? Mm-hmm. And then also, anyways, I also picked up the number 1 tight end this week, Juwan Johnson. He's a dog. I'll give y'all a little advice. He is the number 1 tight end in fantasy through week 1, so it doesn't mean so much. But the stats, listen. The stats, he played 99% of his team snaps. That's huge. He was on the field basically every play for the Saints last week. Saints suck. But if you're going to give me 10 targets to that guy every week, he's going to be a fantasy monster. So I can honestly throw him in the flex if I need to. So I feel fine. I think my team is going to be good. Dak Prescott won't disappoint. He honestly played really well versus the Eagles, so I feel fine.
Trusting Spencer Rattler and Bryce Young. Good luck to you, sir. Let's give him a hand. Hamstring boys, part 2. Now let's get to the home team. See what I'm saying? Unfortunately, week 1 woes, right? So we did fall short. Even with my matchup losing Xavier Worthy in like the first couple plays of the game, right? So as you can imagine, I was very disappointed at that. But the fact of the matter is, in this draft, as you can see, I went with the Buccaneers. All right. Now, it's the home team away from home. Got some knowledge about what they do over there. We've seen it in previous years, division champions. So we know what they do. Baker Mayfield was a very, very good fantasy quarterback last year, right? So I expect him to do the same things that he did this year with some new pieces on the roster, as we saw Emeka Egbuka, first game in the NFL, putting down 2 touchdowns. He's elite. We knew that, going into it. But the problem with that is the fact that Mike Evans did not get his fair share. All right. So when Mike Evans doesn't get his fair share, his points are going to be a bit low, right? So he only gave me 10 points. I definitely need to see more targets out of him because that's an 1,000-yard man. We know him very well. Now, I'm going to get into it a little bit, but the Miami Dolphins, they're going to need a regime change. We may see that sooner than later, all right? But I picked up A-Chain. We know exactly how dynamic, how explosive of a NFL player that he is, right? So I put him in there because he's going to break out some big plays, get into space, right, and do his thing, catch a few balls as well if Tua, ever gets goggles. Now, Kyron Williams, we know his body pretty well. I don't really have to speak on that. But I have to credit my father for this pick, right? So Brian Thomas Jr. wasn't somebody I was necessarily too familiar with. I had to go back and look at the tape before the draft. Okay. That man got something. You see what I'm saying? That man got something special down there in Jacksonville. The problem is, right, 9 points, that's not going to get it done. It's not going to get it done. I expect them to be better going forward, see that end zone, see some more balls. I picked up Hawk, you know what I mean? So JJ McCarthy, we got to get the young man. It's week 1. Like he don't know who to throw to. He going to lean on Jettas. We get that. But sometimes you got to use your safety belt and give it to the tight end. right? This week right here, we're going with ETN. We know his body at this point, but I also have Tony Pollard off the bench. Little mismatch, when we come to that flex position. I got the Vikings defense, right? They somewhat let me down week 1, but I expect them to lock up going forward.
They're getting fried on Sunday. I'm just letting you know. Or Monday. Sunday?
I mean, I would hope.
No, they were going to get fried. I'm telling you.
I mean, we'll get into that in a little bit, but they definitely do have to face a high-powered, a high-octane offense coming forward this Sunday. So we'll see what it is. And then, last but not least, my kicker let me down. That's going to be the theme of this one. But some other notables, I do have Trevor Lawrence on my bench. You know what I mean? Charbonnet, guys like Ricky Pearsall. Y'all don't even know who that is for real. You know what I mean? Y'all don't even know who that is for real. But that 49ers situation, they're in dire straits right now. So we going to hold on to him, see how that shakes out. But he's going to be a wild card for y'all again going forward. But anywho, that's the Mo and Neverless team. We don't switch up the name because we stay the same. Been on top for many years now, right? So, I'll tell you why. Hey, but let's really get into it though. Gentlemen. Look at Julian's facial expression, though. Like, look at how his mood just changed. I mean, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. What happened? What happened to it?
Now, he disgusts me right now. I'm not gonna lie. He disgusts me. I was back home last weekend, and I was in the state. I was at a wedding, a Sunday wedding. My homie Jordan. He's came on the pod. He's actually trying to get back on. He got married.
I do not remember that, dude. But
I don't remember. It was probably like a year ago. But anyways, he just got married. So I was at his wedding. There was a cocktail hour after the ceremony. So, naturally, there's a lot of Falcons fans there. We tap into the stream. We're tapped in on the phone at the cocktail hour. We see our quarterback lead a major drive down the field. Number one, he had a Herculean effort to take the lead. Defense gives it up. Our best player, actually, Jesse Bates, gives it up. Unfortunate. Then, there's some motors rolling outside. Anyways, Jesse Bates gives up the touchdown. Then, our quarterback once again leads a super, super tough 2-minute drill, as he always has. He's never failed in a 2-minute drill, ever, in his NFL career. Leads us down the field again. We get a field goal attempt, 40-something yards from Koo. Wide right. You can just hear our whole little section of the cocktail party just lets out a major sigh, and some people started yelling. I walked away because I was just dejected. He needs to go. He's lost us too many games in the last year or so. That is becoming egregious, actually. Think about how many big games we've lost because of kicking. Not just him. We had a backup kicker as well who lost us a game also. But we've got to find somebody who can consistently make field goals, man. It's getting ridiculous. So I'm sorry. I used to rock with Koo because he was cool. He assimilated into the Atlanta culture for a few years when he first came. But right now it's just ridiculous. Get him out. Get him out of my city, man.
Now, so this is some Falcons talk here. So just let me get in here real fast. I was actually in attendance for the game. I mentioned that just a bit earlier. I was in attendance for this one. Right, saw a lot of old people that I knew there. It was good to chum it up. You know what I mean?
You met our big man Ernie Johnson.
Yeah, met Ernie Johnson at the game. He was decked out in his dirty bird gear. Saying rise up before the game. Whole city was in attendance. Ambassador to the city, T.I. was in the building. Ambassador to the city, Trey Young was in the building, as I mentioned. Right. There's a cycle of life when it comes to being a Falcons fan. See, in the off season, it's a lot of hype. It's a lot of this is going to be it. We have all of these pieces, especially offensive side. We're bringing in some new young guns on defense that show promise. And we know we have a good team. And it's always something. Some people will say it's coaching. In many previous years, it's the quarterback. But now you have the division champions right where you want them. Julian's called it a Herculean effort by our quarterback. We have to understand this guy has not played 10 NFL games. Wheeling and dealing. Put himself, his whole body on the line multiple times to find the end zone late in the game, making plays. There are some receivers that missed his throws, actually. Like, he could have actually thrown for a touchdown to Hodge, right? But he gave up on that route. He was making plays that only a veteran would. So much so that veteran Baker Mayfield, division champion, sat in the presser like, this guy's young, but he's going to be a problem. Real recognizes real. Michael Penix is the one. The city's behind him. We like that guy a lot. Okay. Bijan, he did his thing. We wish we got some more out of the run game, but you still get him in space. He does his thing. He's just one of those type players. Drake, we got him going a little bit late. Even Kyle Pitts got his touches. We love to see that. And then you just come down and then you just get blown by a very makeable field goal that even the college kicker could make.
Remember high school? Well, Woodward's kicker could make that, bro. I saw Woodward's kicker make that this year. I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm flying. He made a 48-yard field goal in high school this year. I don't even think he's a senior. He's like 17.
I watched the average Joe on college game day, Saturday morning, make a field goal from like 30. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Room to spare for $200,000, $200,000 on the line. Okay. He could have made that field goal too. It's always something, but to Julian's point, now it's becoming a trend. When it becomes a trend, this is the National Football League. Right? There's no room for sympathy. He's gotten a lot of hate, a lot of vitriol. I know he's down on himself, but quite frankly, I can't. Like, it's becoming a trend at this point. So we do all we can. That's the best team we're going to face in our division. We gave one away at home. Just gave it away because this guy couldn't make a field goal. Mind you, you never know what's going to happen in overtime, but it at least gives yourself a chance because the offense gave us a chance. You know what I mean?
If we got the ball first in that overtime, bro,
I'm not knowing what happens from there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so frustrating. It really is because we could have kicked this year off with such a bang with that win.
That was in my opinion, bro, the Falcons almost needed to win that game. The Falcons' beginning of the schedule is hell. Like, it is a horrible first 5 games for the Falcons. I don't even remember off the top of my brain, but oh my god,
it's tough. Joey, like, and this is I get it. It sounds like fan speak, but division rival at home. You know what I mean? You have them right there, right where you want them. You just gave it up. Like, these are the type wins where you're fighting for playoff position at the end of the year that will come back to you like, dang, man, and we made that field goal, man, whatever. But it's just frustrating, man. The Falcons, they have a great team, great young pieces. But, Julian, what's the schedule? Well, let's look at this. And then
it's Vikings. It's next week, Vikings. I think it's at home. Nope, it's away. Next week at the Vikings. Then the Panthers, which is a divisional game. It's at Carolina, though.
Must win.
Then it's at the Commanders, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Nope. Okay, I'm capped. It's at home versus the Commanders. But I think that's the 4th game. Then it's versus the Bills. I think that's a Monday night game. Let me see.
This is 7:15, so it most likely is.
Yeah, Monday Night Football, Bills. Jeez. Like, this is just ridiculous. Then the 49ers. That's
It,
just,
it
that's
doesn't
terrible.
get easier. Bottom line.
Like, that is horrible.
Like, and then we saw this Vikings team. We'll talk about them in a few. We saw this Vikings team, but it's not gonna be easy going out there. Like, it's not gonna be an easy game. We have to perform.
Bro, the Vikings just win. They're just winners, bro. Like, they just
I
find
mean-
ways to win.
Hey man, listen, Falcons. We have high hopes for them, but that's one that's going to haunt us for a very long time. Like, best believe that. And as a result, the Falcons are trying out some new kickers, right? Seeing if we can find a diamond in the rough late in the game, but we probably gonna be rocking with this dude. I don't know. Take 5. It's a shame. All right, so we had a full slate of Sunday games. A lot went down. I didn't even get to that third. I think that was that Thursday. The Eagles was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah, Eagles, Cowboys. I didn't even get to that game there, but we saw it went down. But a lot of games, a lot of storylines that were following early into the game. But I just want to hear from y'all. Week 1. We saw everybody play, saw the product that they put on the field. Who are you most impressed by as a team, right? And who are you most disappointed in as a team? And I have a feeling we're going to have some similar answers there. But Joey, do you want to jump in here? Like, did you name a team that you were impressed by week 1?
I was I think I was most impressed by the Steelers. I'm not one. Aaron Rodgers has a very an easy Hall of Fame resume, multiple time MVP if I'm not mistaken. But I think at this point, his last year in New York, what wasn't the best, so to speak. They traded for Devontae Adams. That didn't really help. Garrett Wilson had his moments last year. Breece Hall took a little tumble. Wasn't sure how he was going to recover. But Aaron Rodgers, he came to Pittsburgh. I think we all kind of had some sort of idea where that was going. But there were definitely some questions regarding his age, regarding his Achilles injury. If he was really going to move like that, if the Pittsburgh O-line was going to be able to protect him like that and he was able to work, I think he gave a giant FU to New York Jets fans. I think I was very impressed by him. I mean, I think we'll have to see how sustainable it is over the course of, the rest of the season. I believe it's his last season. Am I right in saying that? I'm not totally sure. Has that been confirmed yet?
He said, I think he hinted at it, but I don't think it's set in stone yet.
Okay, well, regardless, we'll see how sustainable that is. But as of right now, for a first game, obviously, we don't want to overreact. But for the sake of it being week 1, we have no other choice. If this is a sign of things to come, I think the Steelers are going to be all right.
We'll see. You alluded to it. To me, it was bigger than football. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go ahead for Aaron, beat their old team. You know what I mean? But they did look good. Saw some good plays out of them. Who are you least impressed by on the football slate, Joey?
I can't go without, talking about the Dolphins a little bit. I think, being blown out by the Daniel Jones led Indianapolis Colts, and I'm not trying to slight Daniel Jones, but I
told y'all.
you got all the weapons in the world offensively, and maybe the Colts defense is good, maybe, but even then, you have all the talent in the world, and you can't get past the Colts. And the Colts have some talent too. I'm not going to act like they're bums, but I think at the same time, you're at this point you're severely underwhelming. You know, tensions are high. You got Tyreek Hill crashing out on the sidelines. You know, unfortunately, I've got him in one of my leagues. I fell asleep during that draft, and auto pick kind of worked its wonder. I have him and A-Chain on that team. But will Tyreek get traded this year? I'm not totally sure. I think the writing's on the wall at this point if things don't get better, but definitely very disappointed in them. But now, I'm not sure if the Bears are going to get mentioned, so I'm just going to say my piece.
Yeah.
Because I will admit, that was probably the only real game I had watched a majority of. Unfortunately, it's my hometown team, and I think things looked really good in the beginning. I think, Caleb Williams started out the game good. I think he looked confident. He was really starting to dissect that Minnesota defense, which I think at this point, I have him in one of my leagues. I was kind of scared to see how that would be, but eventually, when Minnesota's defense started to take away Caleb's first option, and they kind of recognized, we're just going to give it to DeAndre Swift, and hopefully he can get through the line and break free. I'm not a huge DeAndre Swift guy. I think he's good, but I think he's got more talent than what he's showing. And sorry, I guess I should have waited for you guys to get through to get over to this slide. But
this I just had to add in real fast. You know what I mean? Now you can keep going now, but we definitely go get into it though. We'll get.
I'll let you guys go, and then I'll get more so into the Bears. How about that? Then we
kind of look like Julian if he was a little, he kind of looked like Julian and Jules,
But I don't see. I'm not gonna lie, I don't see it. We're both black with a beard.
Julian would clock it. You know what I mean? Caleb.
Hey Julian, show us your nails real quick.
Yeah, the nails would do it. Like, that'd be a Halloween costume, man. Definitely scare anybody in Chicago. Like, scare anybody away off Old Block.
He's definitely crying.
It has to be reviewed. All right. Again, Joey, it's week 1. We don't like to overreact. You know what I mean? We don't like to just go off the deep end just by one measly game. Like, that's not what we want to do. Right? But I'm sitting here, I'm watching the game, just chilling. This is what I had on at the crib, had the Publix wings going, you know what I mean? So I was really chilling watching this game. I'm just seeing this man throw balls. It seemed like he was trying to throw them to me. I wasn't even there. You see what I'm saying? There are some points in the game I didn't know who he was throwing to. It's a problem. It has to be addressed because that was a winnable game, Joey. Right? You have the right to be disappointed as a fan. Years of history aside, right? They came out on script, wheeling and dealing. I think I typed in. I was like, okay. New look Bears, we better have something going here. Like, this might be all right. Saddam Hussein. Julian, what happened out there, man?
I mean, you guys already basically said it. They came out on a script, like you said. There's about the first drive is usually scripted in football. Usually the first drive of each half is scripted, but while they were on script, he played super well. And even after that, I thought he was playing really well, executing at a high level. Honestly, it didn't look like Minnesota had any answers and looked like they were dead in the water. I don't even, thinking back to the game, I don't even know how the game's momentum flipped like that. It was shocking to see.
Steve Ballmer. You don't know.
No, bro. It was that was shocking to see, honestly. I don't want to put all the blame on Caleb. And I think he put enough on tape to make Bears fans be at least somewhat encouraged. Like I thought he played well in the first half, and I thought he showed off his talent, and he played within the structure of the offense at the beginning of the game. At the end of the game, yeah, there was times resorting back to bad habits like bailing out of pockets, trying to do too much at times, obviously missing a few throws, but he made some crazy throws as well. And we don't really acknowledge those. And also, I do want to contextualize Caleb Williams' journey in the NFL.
Oh God!
People have been saying, no, it's real.
You know,
Like he's on his fourth offense, and this is his second year of football. That's what. Think about that, bro. It's only his second year.
Julia, pitch and catch.
This is football.
It is football.
No.
Open throw. That's all we need.
You have to be comfortable. Being comfortable in your offense helps you so much, though. Like you're operating basically a machine, right? So you see guys. I'm trying to think who plays super well within structure. Joe Burrow, you see him take his drop and the ball's out, right? He knows exactly where to go at all times, right? Because he has such good continuity with his head coach. He knows exactly where to find guys every single time. He knows he has a plan for the blitz, everything like that, right? He looks super comfortable, and there's a reason for that. Caleb Williams has been in a state of constant confusion since he came into the league. He started out with BS coaching, right? And it's continued for a while now. They have finally found an answer at coach and play caller, hopefully. We don't know how he is as a head coach. As a play caller, we know he's good, though. Right? I think you have to give it time. You have to give it some time. Give it a few weeks. Give it some months even to see how him and Ben Johnson go together. I think it'll be fine, honestly. I think it'll be better than fine. I think y'all will be good. To your point earlier, Joey, DeAndre Swift hasn't been good at football since he was in the NFL. I've had that take for many years. I mean, that guy is not – he's not a very good runner, you know? He is dynamic with the ball in open space, but in terms of like running, hitting holes between the tackles, no, bro. You need a new running back. You need to find the Thunder guy, bro.
Yeah, I don't think he has it. I think one of my friends, he's an Eagles fan. No, before you ask, it's not Ian. But I kind of wish Ian was here so that he could kind of, bounce off of this. But I asked him because DeAndre Swift was on the Eagles for a little bit. He's got all the talent in the world. He's very fast. He's a good pass catcher. He just doesn't have the vision. He can't really shoot the gaps. He can't really find those holes. He just runs straight in there.
Yeah.
Without a plan in sight instead of just like go.
Yeah, that's always been his main problem. Ian would tell you the opposite. Ian would tell you that he's very good. Like I said, I've had this take for many years. So we had this argument years ago that DeAndre Swift was not very good. And Ian would be like, "Oh, look at his numbers. Like he had 1,000 yards rushing, but you're rushing behind a dominant offensive line. So it's not that impressive, but continue."
But
hey, listen, man, we'll leave the Bears alone. I just want to say again, we can excuse any miscues. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you thought the wide receiver was breaking left and he broke right on you, you know what I mean? Like a couple flags with the hard snap, you know what I mean? That's something that, you clean up as you go along, get used to your coach. If somebody's wide open, you better hit them. That's it. That's all I got to say. Joe, who are you most impressed by?
I'm going to use the same game as Joey, actually. Even though the team lost, I was really impressed by the Jets and a losing effort. They played really well, and I think they have something to build on, honestly. Justin Fields played a good game. Hopefully for his sake, he figures it out in New York and can kind of find a home for himself as a full-time starting quarterback. I know he's kind of on a prove-it deal right now, and he's looking to make a lot of money. So if he plays like that throughout the rest of the year, of course, they'll be happy to bring him back. But outside of Justin Fields, they play really well. Offensive line was really good. They've spent a lot on the offensive line in the last few years in terms of draft picks and even free agency as well, because they were trying to protect Rodgers, and now they even reinvested this year with Membu from Missouri. I sent y'all a clip. He was wrecking that boy TJ Watt, which is That's saying something. TJ Watt is a top 5 player. He's dominant. So to put that on tape in your first game is crazy. So I expect a lot from them and the offensive line. Obviously, having a quarterback like Fields boosts your running game a lot. So I would expect a lot from Breece Hall and Braylon Allen this year. I think their run game is going to be really good because someone has to account for Justin Fields. It gives you an extra blocker. So that team, I think, will be good. Defense will be there. So I was really impressed by them. And in terms of who I didn't like, I agree with Joey on the Dolphins. Other teams, the Panthers looked really bad, which kind of surprised me because they played really well down the stretch last year.
They're not good, bro.
Including Bryce. Bryce played really well down the stretch of last year. So to see him play poorly in week 1 versus the Jaguars was a little alarming. We'll have to see if he can figure it out again. I'm not out on Bryce. I think Bryce is really good. He has a special knack in terms of anticipation and throwing windows. Like he's special at that. But obviously he does have to make up for physical deficiencies. So we'll see what they can do. And then also the Texans looks horrible. I don't know. I don't understand how they could have swung and missed like this in terms of developing their quarterback. Like he had the best rookie season ever for a quarterback. It's been probably surpassed since then, maybe by Jaden Daniels. I don't know. It's close last year. But since then, the offensive line has went to garbage. They have no running game. Unfortunately, Tank Dell got hurt, which they can't really control. But like I just don't understand I don't understand what happened to the Texans because their defense is still good, but man, the offense has looked horrible. And you have a superstar, or not a superstar, you have a young star quarterback, and you can't protect him for anything. And that can fry his confidence and ruin him. Like that can ruin him as a player, bro. Like these 2 years in a row of this can possibly ruin him. They got to address that immediately. I would be trading somebody because if you have 2 years of BS O-line play, like, bro, I'm telling you, his confidence could be completely shot and it can ruin him. So I was disappointed by that.
I don't think I disagree with anything that Julian said there. It's almost like he watched the games this time, right? So I'll give you some credit about that. You mentioned the Jets. That definitely, definitely some bright spots that we need to keep our eye on there, right? Justin Fields has been up and down, but, we hope that he does figure it out there. I'm not somebody that doesn't want him to succeed personally. You really did. Yeah, that Texans thing is fishy. We already talked Miami, but that Texans thing is a bit fishy. So, dude, you might be right about that one as well. Like we definitely
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and victory lap that. Let's victory lap it, right? Years later, I've been telling y'all the Miami. We're talking about Miami.
Oh, wait a second. I was talking about the Texans for a second there, but no.
Oh, okay.
The Miami thing is bigger than just Tua. Like that thing is like no Tua's not contributing to better play, but that thing is bigger than all at this point. Like you got Tyreek doing what he does. You got the McDaniels. I think they lost faith in dude. That newfound offense, whatever he got going on. Like I just think there needs to be a regime change there. Nah, I mean, if you want to talk about Miami as a team, like I don't know what to say there. The Tua thing, I still think he's a solid. Do
you remember how much hate I got for that? There was legitimate, huh?
By Tua?
Yes, there was legitimate. I was getting hate comments directed at me on all platforms. Like folks were coming in from Facebook, YouTube. It was throw, bro. They were coming at me crazy for saying Tua was not a top. I didn't even think I had him like top 15.
Bro.
Top 15 quarterback. He's not good. Like he's pretty bad, honestly. And I've been trying to tell y'all this, but damn, to see it play out like this, honestly, it sucks. I don't even hate Tua as a person, but
you do not know that, man. Shut up.
A victory lap this week is crazy.
But what are we? But Julian,
y'all were bullish on Tua, man. Y'all thought Tua was like the second coming. Y'all thought he was a top 7. Like we were having those conversations, right?
Dude, but this is all of 3 years ago. He was like he was
wasn't.
one of those guys.
No,
you know what I mean? Like he had the numbers,
no,
right?
He was never that.
But again, Julian, if I were to ask you if you know that coaching staff over in Miami, right, where you are at, Hard Rock, right, was to blame for a lot of these mishaps, miscues that are happening on the field, like
There's blame to go around everywhere. I think a lot of the blame falls on Tua's shoulders in terms of operating that offense. In terms of turning the ball over, bro.
You can never excuse turnovers. No,
you can't turn the ball over, and he does a lot. So
you definitely can't excuse
especially versus a good team. He's never been a good player versus a good team ever. Been trying to tell y'all this.
Bro, it's cold in Buffalo, like you know that.
I don't care.
You gotta be real. Like
he gets $45 million a year. Like
that. So does Kawhi for the he does it though. He does it.
I mean, we don't see Kawhi go out bad typically. Very rarely, actually.
Tua play about 16 games, so does Kawhi. Like anyway, take 5. Nah, that's good though. I needed that. Nah, you did a good job with the Texans though. So something's got to go down. Something has to happen. So I would have mentioned the Miami Dolphins, but they've been mentioned twice in terms of disappointment. But what do y'all think about the Detroit Lions team right now and what y'all saw out there? I didn't watch that game in full, but I've heard the takes. I've heard the rumblings. You know what I mean? That's some, coaching change up may have changed the way that this team is functioning. They had that thing cooking with grease last year, right? But now, quick loss there. And of course, it's going to be a long season. But are you worried about the Detroit Lions at all?
I'll go first on this. And maybe because I'm not going to, have a victory lap because we stole their OC. But I think on some level you got to be a little bit of patient. I think you lost an OC who's responsible for they scored the most points in the league last year, right? We can't totally forget about that. And by the way, like none of their main guys played this preseason, if I'm not mistaken. Amon-Ra didn't play, Jameer didn't play. None of their main guys played this preseason. So I think you still have to, you kind of went from like an elite offense to, you don't really know where it's going to be. You've got the talent for it, I think. You've got a great tight end. You've got great run game. You got a great, passing game. Like, you even have a solid quarterback in Jared Goff. That may be a little bit more subjective than everybody else, but like
he's good. Yeah.
I think you still have to be a little bit patient, kind of coming down from earth in terms of, personnel at OC, especially when, you've got fresh legs out there that probably haven't played like an actual competitive game in a while. So I think you just got to be patient. I'm not totally hitting the panic button on this just yet.
This is true. I think we all have to do the same thing. But again, right, you go from seeing what they were able to accomplish last year, and then you see this, right? So I guess, it's going to take some time, right? But I definitely wanted to ask y'all about that because, my take here, and this is what we're going to finish with, ladies and gentlemen, right? Because these two, for whatever reason, I know the reason, actually. I know the reason, but it's my job to provide You thought you could get away with it. You want to talk about victory lap? They thought I forgot.
Give it to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, even Rome fell. I repeat, even Rome fell. I'm gonna start by what I'm impressed with. I heard a lot of talk around the net, not necessarily from y'all, but I heard a lot of talking on the net about Herb. Y'all know Herb? Some call him Herbert. All right? Put respect on that young man's name. Wheeling and dealing, staring into the face of a giant. Put respect on his name. He went out there and he did his thing in Brazil. Neutral location. We overseas with it. Chargers look good. Shout out to old man Keenan. Stop playing with him. That's a legend. That's a Hall of Famer. Y'all need to stop playing with these people's names, right? Because we'll take your champion and then put them on a t-shirt. That's what will happen. I ain't been a fan of the Chargers since LT. I'm a fan now. Because y'all were talking crazy. They're talking crazy. like we don't have what we have. Chargers I'm very impressed with. You're going to have to deal with those boys going forward. It may have not been like that last year, but let's keep that same energy that you had going forward. Keep your eye on them boys. Keep your eye on them boys. What do you have to say?
Until we see it done in the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right.
Let's be honest. Like they're a good team. I agree, and they have been good for some years now. They weren't good at finishing games, but they've been a good team.
Mm-hmm.
Until we see them perform in the playoffs, including Justin Herbert, who played his worst last year in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The jury's still out.
Joey, first game of the year, it was in Brazil. Neutral location, playoff atmosphere. Y'all don't understand.
Playoff atmosphere is crazy.
What?
Playoff atmosphere is crazy.
It's Sao Paulo. What are you talking about? They had belly dancers at halftime. That's the playoff atmosphere.
Bro, no. That's like a Thanksgiving atmosphere. That's like a Thanksgiving Day atmosphere. You're right. You are right. That's a Black Friday. That's a Black Friday atmosphere.
We like to downplay greatness. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is keep your eye on them boys going forward. Yeah, I thought I forgot about it. You want to talk about disappointment? Talk about the Swifties. Talk about them. I mean, come on, man.
They have. I think they have the Eagles this week, so we're gonna see.
The Eagles this week. Yeah, no, we definitely will see. That's a rematch. Again, we got no receivers out there. Mahomes fighting for his life. Fighting for his life. This is not the same championship defense. Y'all got to understand that. You want to talk about disappointment? Rome fell, Joey. It fell. I'm just saying, like, we again, that stuff get washed. Like, that stuff get washed away, never to be seen again. Like, that Mahomes train, he cool it off. You know what I mean? But Kelsey, you're going to have to retire very soon, right? We've seen that. You know what I mean? He got his touchdown then. That was fine, whatever. But he got to retire very soon, right? Get on the podcast with his brother. You know, they do what they do, whatever. Let Tay be the breadwinner from now on, and let's go from there, right?
She's been the breadwinner, bro.
Yeah. Huh?
She's been the breadwinner.
On me. Now, Mahomes, you know, he's still doing his thing, but you can't just – Brad's not LeBron James, bro. Like, he's not going to just be out there turning water into wine. Like, he's not Trae Young, bro. Like, he's not just going to be out there taking no names to the chest. Xavier, I know Xavier Worthy didn't play. That's not going to be enough going forward, though. We understand that.
Xavier Worthy, Hollywood, Rashee Rice.
Bro, Hollywood is not the one. We can go ahead.
Rashee Rice is the one, though.
Rashee Rice needs bail.
Yeah,
he needs bail.
He's out 6 games.
Bro, whatever you want to call it, right? Like, it's not going to be pretty anytime soon, is all I'm trying to say. It's very disappointing, disheartening, actually. I'm hurt. You may not be able to tell. I've heard personally that this is the product that was put on the field by Andy Reid and those gentlemen. Hey, y'all thought I forgot. At Take 5 Pod, do we have any questions, any concerns before we move on? No? We good? Hey, at Take 5 Pod, man. Every Wednesday at 7:30. Every Wednesday at 7:30. No more TNT Tuesdays. Every Wednesday at 7:30. We're into the football season. Let us know in the comments who you're most disappointed with, who you're most impressed with, who had the best takes. If you have something to say, get on the page.